Typhoon Dolphin battered Okinawa, Japan, on the 7th of August, 2026, bringing hours of torrential rain, powerful winds, dangerous waves, and widespread disruption. The slow-moving storm passed close to Nago, Nakijin, Motobu, Cape Hedo, and Kouri Island, leaving residents facing prolonged extreme weather and widespread power outages. At Cape Hedo, residents reported being hit by the typhoon's backside eyewall for more than 3 hours. Ferocious winds and torrential rain repeatedly battered the exposed coastline, making it extremely dangerous to go outside. In Nago, weather conditions deteriorated rapidly, with strong winds and heavy rain continuing for hours, while electricity repeatedly failed. Around 17,000 households across Okinawa were reported without power as the storm disrupted local infrastructure. Some communities also experienced interruptions to water supplies and communications. In Nakijin, residents described powerful gusts strong enough to shake vehicles, while homes became increasingly uncomfortable as air conditioning and other electrical equipment stopped working. Motobu was also hit hard. Residents prepared for a prolonged blackout by moving frozen food and drinks into coolers. Some people remained inside hotels and homes, waiting for the worst conditions to pass. On Kouri Island, the storm produced a constant roar of powerful winds, while electricity, fiber optic internet, and some mobile communications were disrupted. The storm also caused damage to Okinawa's agricultural sector. Strong winds ripped apart greenhouse coverings and damaged farming facilities, creating additional losses for local producers. Businesses were also affected, with at least one shop suffering structural damage and temporarily closing while repairs were carried out. Along the coast, the danger became even greater. Amami Oshima in Kagoshima Prefecture experienced heavy rain, powerful winds, and enormous waves as Dolphin affected the island. Waves crashed against coastal cliffs, sending seawater spray toward buildings and windows. Residents remained indoors and waited for conditions to improve before beginning cleanup. The wider storm system also affected Okuma Bay and coastal areas around Amami Oshima, where rough seas created dangerous conditions. Farther south, Nichinan in Miyazaki Prefecture remained within the wider wind zone. Although the center of Dolphin did not pass directly over the city, wind directions changed repeatedly, and the sea remained extremely rough. Residents were warned to stay away from beaches and exposed coastal areas. Travelers were also caught in the disruption. Flights were canceled, transportation was affected, and tourists were forced to remain inside hotels or seek safer shelter. Some visitors described the storm as one of the most powerful typhoons they had experienced. Hotels prepared food and supplies for guests because leaving the buildings was considered unsafe. One of the most unsettling features of Dolphin was its slow and unusual movement. In some parts of Okinawa, residents briefly experienced calmer conditions as a quieter section of the storm passed overhead. But the calm was temporary. Winds later returned from a different direction, producing powerful backside winds and renewed rainfall. The prolonged conditions increased the risk of flooding, falling trees, damaged structures, power failures, and further infrastructure problems. Residents were repeatedly urged not to mistake temporary calm for the end of the danger. For many communities, the blackout became one of the biggest challenges. Without electricity, residents struggled with cooling, refrigeration, water systems, communications, and basic daily activities. Some people considered temporarily relocating to safer buildings while waiting for essential services to return. As Dolphin continued moving away, authorities urged residents to remain cautious. Even after the strongest winds weaken, flooded roads, fallen trees, damaged power lines, debris, and dangerous coastal waves can remain life-threatening.